Alright Sam, hopefully we can go over some of the issues with your deadlift in this video. Hopefully I got the right angle so we can look at everything. So as I said before, a lot of the reason with your lockout issues is because the starting position, especially of your pelvis. So if you have your pelvis kind of tucked underneath you, then it's going to hit full extension of your hips before the lockout, and that's when you either get stuck or you have to like use your lower back to unravel yourself. So in the bottom, we want to try and get your pelvis more square. So what it would look like is you want to be more like this, but you're trying to get into this position. So this is where you want to be, but this is where you're trying to start. And so then with this round over position, you get to here, and now my hips are pretty much fully extended, knees are extended, but now I'm leaned over and back is rounded, and you either get stuck here and you can't unravel yourself, or some of the reps are able to use your back to pull through. So with the bar in my hand, just to show again, you want to be here, but you're pulling from here, and then you're getting to here, and then you have to try and pull through. If you're using a narrow grip, it's going to get harder to pull through too because you're getting stuck on the legs. And also if you're using straps, it can be hard to pull through because if you're holding it lower in the straps, the bar is even going to be lower on the legs, and it's going to be hard to pull up the legs and get your shoulders back. Alright? And part of the reason I think why that hip issue is happening at the beginning is you're trying to start too upright. You're trying to get as best of a starting position as you can, so you're compensating in certain positions to get more upright. So one of the things that you notice from your side video is your shin angle. So if we're looking from the front or the side, we want to try and get the shin as vertical as possible, but if you look at yours is actually going forward a little bit. So that's part of the reason with the hips coming through and rounding, is that's forcing the shins forward and you're trying to get into more of an upright position. And then the other thing is, like I said, by rounding those hips and bringing those hips closer, then you can get your torso more upright. Whereas if you kept your hips further back and more square, you're going to be leaned over more. So you're trying to get into a better position, and so by doing that, you're rounding your butt underneath you, pushing the knees forward, so now I can get into this position. Alright, so it looks better than this position, but actually is causing those issues at the lockout. So you want to focus on whether you're filming from the side or filming from the front or having someone watch, you want to have that shin as vertical as possible. So that's going to be getting the bar in the right position over the middle of the foot, getting the knee out, alright, and then trying to keep that weight over the middle of your foot and your shin vertical rather than pushing the knee forward and getting up onto the toes. Alright, and then when you're in the bottom position, you want to make sure you try and get control of your hips. So you don't want to round underneath you, and obviously you don't want to try and overarch too much. You just want to be bracing and getting it into a square position. So now right here, I got my shins vertical. Alright, I got my hips square. Alright, bar underneath my shoulders on the middle of the foot, and then from there I get a clean pull. Alright, and then one of the last things just to go over is, probably don't want to switch it now, but maybe if we need to, is the stance width. The wider and wider and wider you go, the more difficult it's going to be to get the knees out and get the back straight. So that's why with some people, if I bring their stance in a little bit, it's less stress on the area. They're able to get their knees out more and get their back straight more easily. So if you're trying out these things and the back is rounding still, then maybe we have to bring your stance in to get the knees out in place and be able to have the mobility and the hips to control that hip position and get it more square. If you're all the way out to toes to the plates, then it can get really difficult to get the knees out and get the hips square without them rounding over underneath you. Alright, hope that helps you out.